Hey folks, so here's Rian Johnson tweeting today about a genuinely nice thing to say about the Star Wars prequels. So, being a writer director of his own Star Wars movie, he'll probably have some insight into the Star Wars universe. So, here he goes. Lucas made a gorgeous 7 hour long movie. Okay, so he knows that it's a trilogy. Why not just say Lucas made a gorgeous 7 hour long trilogy? But apparently it's a movie. Fine. Semantics, right? Semantics. Okay. For children. Okay, so it's a story for children. We've heard that before. And it's not inaccurate, but it's also a movie for everyone, or a trilogy for everyone. About how entitlement and fear of loss turns good people into fascists. Okay. Now, trying to explain to children entitlement in a Star Wars movie probably never happened. Most people, especially children, are very self centered. They're learning about the world. Everything to them is reaction to their experience of it. So they're going to be rather egotistical. They have to learn how to be not so selfish. But I cannot imagine the story of the formation of Darth Vader and Obi-Wan and all these other storylines has anything to do with entitlement. The entitlement of what? Of a chancellor being given too much power when he is in fact the evil force found within the galaxy that all the Jedi are trying to find? Is it the entitlement of the Jedi, meaning they're just sitting on top of their thrones and feeling all high and mighty? I don't know what entitlement exactly is found in the Star Wars prequels. That was never a major theme. That was never a major quality. I don't know where to look for that. Who is entitled? Is this one of those buzzwords that we just assume because there's white people in the audience or there's white actors in a galaxy far, far away a long, long time ago that racial entitlement exists in this Class A civilization throughout the galaxy of space wizards? I don't know. Kind of hard to grasp that word there of entitlement. But we're talking about Rian Johnson, folks. So who knows exactly what's going through his head? And fear of loss. The fear of loss. So I'm quite sure he's talking about Anakin there. So fear of losing his mother, fear of losing his wife, his love, and I guess his children. I don't know. And that was never really handled very well by Lucas in general. How we got from angsty, murderous Anakin Darkseid into Darth Vader. It was like a jump. It was like, oh, okay, now he's Darth Vader. He suddenly doesn't care about his kids anymore, or he was lied to by the Emperor, or what have you. A little bit more complicated. So I don't think a fear of loss can encapsulate the entire experience of the movie, especially the characters they're in, like all the people in the Republic. Their fear of loss and what will happen to our planet and our society and our Senate and the galaxy. We must approve a grand chancellor or a grand army of the Republic and have it led by the chancellor. We'll have discretionary powers to stop the separatists and what have you. This is all under the pretense that a person who's in charge is playing both sides. And that is the very same person who created the separatists is also using that to create an empire. So, yeah, if there is an evil genius, mastermind behind the workings of the galaxy, yeah, you're going to be afraid. The Jedi knew it. They just didn't know where it was or who it was. And individual planets or senators from said planets were kind of scared in the first place. So this all culminates into his turning people into fascists. So this gets weird now. So are we talking about the entire galaxy, meaning the Republic? Are we talking about the Jedi? Are we talking about the Sith or whatever few Sith there are? Who exactly is a fascist? And how are they fascist? Because I don't think there was ever any fascism or a mention of fascism, which is a very complicated thing for a movie for kids in the prequels. That's a very high level thing. They might learn about empires. They might learn about democracies, um, separatist movements, that sort of thing in the movie, but definitely not fascism. That is taking something a bit too far. You can see the chancellor as perhaps a dictator, but that never really plays a role in the first three films. It's implied after the fact in 4, 5, and 6. It's an empire. And shown, actually. But we never see as far as I recall, unless I have to rewatch episode 3, that Chancellor Palpatine starts going crazy into fascism. Because if it was fascism, the other planets, the senators, would react very strongly and very differently. Especially when it's a buzzword. Like, this is the problem with these people and their thinking. Everything's political. Star Wars is political. Yes, it's about politics, but it's not a political story. It's a story about a person who is one of the most famous villains in movie history becoming the villain and his progression towards that, which is not handled the best way, let's be honest. Anakin is not the greatest, most solid character in existence. But to imply he becomes fascist or the Republic becomes fascist is silly. Rian Johnson is nothing but projecting with this progressive term. And I don't think anyone I've ever met, even someone who studied fascism, understands what the term means, especially in today's context, when it's being thrown around like a racial slur. So he did it while spearheading nearly every technical sea change in modern filmmaking for the past 30 years. I would say the past 40 years. And this is one of the reasons why it's so popular. That technology was developed to create all this beautiful cinematography, special effects that we've never seen before. So naturally, new technology will advance storytelling, and putting in a space opera, it's grandiose and melodramatic and big and bigger and as big as it can get. That's one of the amazing qualities of Star Wars. Not so much for the prequels, I think, as amazing as the digital video technology that was developed for it. But yeah, that's Rian Johnson, folks, and his positively or genuinely nice thing to say about the Star Wars prequels. Thanks for listening. Have yourself a great day.